All right, let's dive in. Tonight, we are dropping into a city that's just simmering. You can feel it. There's this tension in the air, a feeling that old powers are about to clash and something new, something fanatical, is crawling out of the shadows.
And that quote, that pretty much sums up the feeling on the streets. There's this fragile piece holding the city's nocturnal society together, and it feels like it's about to absolutely shatter. And tonight? Yeah, tonight someone's gonna light the match.
So, our story follows this crew, a coterie of kindred, yep, that's vampires, led by a newly turned police detective named Frost. With him, you've got Alex, a fiercely independent courier, Gabriel, the quiet mortician, and Eric, who's deeply devout. They're all just trying to navigate the city's dangerous underbelly. But tonight, that underbelly is coming right to their front door.
See, their last job got a little messy, but hey, it worked. They cleared out some squatters, got a favor, and that favor turned into a huge piece of intel. Frost used his prize, a single question, to find the location of a really dangerous group called the Shepherds. He did the right thing, or what he thought was the right thing, and reported it up the chain. He has no idea he's just lit the fuse that's about to set this whole city on fire.
So just as their night is getting started, bam! A knock at Frost's door. There's this very well-dressed man standing there with an invitation that is, well, it's not really an invitation, you know? It's an order. And it's not just for Frost. His entire crew has to come along for the ride.
They end up at this completely nondescript warehouse. Seriously, it's the last place you'd expect to find a major power player. But this plain, unassuming building is actually the compound of the Ashira, and our crew is about to find out just how much influence these guys really have.
On the way over, Frost has to give his very nervous friends the crash course. The Ashira, they're a huge deal. Think of them like the dominant Camarilla faction, but with deep roots in Middle Eastern culture and the Muslim faith. They're organized, they're powerful, and as the coterie is about to learn, they have like a zero-tolerance policy for surprises.
And this where Gabriel just cuts right through all the political nonsense. He asks the one question that really matters. Where do Frost's loyalties actually lie? And Frost has to admit it. Yeah, the Ashira control him. His sire, a lot of people. And that reveal just changes everything. They're not going to meet an ally. They're walking into the headquarters of Frost's masters.
Inside, it's not some grand throne room. Nope. It's a sterile corporate boardroom. Just a long table and this overwhelming feeling of being under a microscope. An Ashira representative makes it crystal clear what this is all about. This isn't a friendly chat. It's an evaluation, an interrogation to see who exactly Frost has been hanging out with.
But, you know, this isn't just about Frost's choice of friends. The Ashira have a much, much bigger problem on their hands. And thanks to Frost's intel, his entire crew is now smack in the middle of it. So the Ashira need to make sure everyone in this room understands the real enemy they're all about to face.
Taylor, one of the Ashira leaders, just lays it all out for them. The Shepherds, they aren't just some rival gang. These are violent extremists, total zealots who think their way is the only way, and they will kill absolutely anyone who gets in their path.
And their tactics? Oh, they are insidious. The Shepherds don't just kick down doors. They infiltrate. They find the most vulnerable people in a community, the most radical groups, and they twist them from the inside out. They could be anyone, anywhere, which makes them this unpredictable and, frankly, terrifying threat.
And then comes the really chilling part. The Ashura slides a drawing across the table. It's a symbol. Look for this, they say, on the corpses that come across your table. And for Gabriel the mortician, that warning just got disturbingly personal.
So, after all the warnings, all the intense questioning, the whole tone of the meeting just shifts. The Ashira aren't just there to intimidate them. They're there to recruit them. They see Frost's crew not just as a potential problem, but as a potential weapon in the war that's coming. Okay, so here's the deal they put on the table. The Ashira are offering up some serious resources. We're talking weapons, vehicles, even access to their security firm and their entire compound. But in return, they want total transparency. They want intel. And ultimately, they want loyalty. Basically, they're offering to arm the coterie, but only if they agree to be pointed in the right direction.
But of course, not everyone is jumping at the chance. Alex, who's always been a solo operator, is not having it. She values her freedom more than anything.
And she sees this alliance for what it really is, another chain, another person telling her what to do. And you can feel that tension threatening to pull the whole group apart. To really sell them on the idea, the Ashira give them the grand tour of the compound. And the scale of this place is just staggering. One minute, they're in this quiet, serene prayer room. The next, they're in a deafeningly loud metal shop that can build anything from tractor parts to high-powered rifles. They've got a whole lot of cars ready to be armored up and a library that would make any scholar weep. They are a sect of faith and industry, piety and raw power. So the crew leaves that meeting with their heads just spinning. They have new knowledge, a powerful and kinda terrifying new ally, and this deep, deep sense of unease. They all part ways for the night, but the night is definitely not over.
And as they all go about their separate business, Eric visits a church, Gabriel works his connections, Alex takes the scenic route home, the whole city is just poised on a knife's edge, completely unaware of the violence that is about to erupt.
And then it happens. Just boom. A sudden massive explosion rocks the entire city. A fireball so big that everyone sees it, followed by a shockwave that rattles windows for miles around. That simmering tension? It just boiled over.
The news, of course, is quick with an official story. A tragic industrial accident at the old Sloss furnaces. Some old chemical tank blew up. But our coterie? They know better. They know that the location Frost gave the Ashira, the location of the Shepherds, was ground zero for that explosion. This wasn't an accident. This was the first shot in a war.
Which leaves us with one massive, burning question. Was that explosion an attack by the Shepherds, or was it a preemptive strike against them? In a war that's fought in the shadows, the first shot has just been fired. The only question now is, who pulled the trigger, and who's going to be next?